Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's the Failed Author. I have a special guest with me today, Uncle Eric, friend of the channel. Uncle Eric, say hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Today, if you can believe it, we're not talking about Battlefield 3. We're talking about Battlefield 6.
What?
Specifically, we're talking about should the weapons be locked to different classes in Battlefield 6. And first off, before we get into this, if you like Battlefield 3, classic Battlefields, and by golly, if you like Battlefield 6, you're in the right place. We're going to just post Battlefield. It's turned into a Battlefield channel. I never thought it would, but darn it, we're here. I still post other crap, but for the most part, it's been a lot of Battlefield. And today's topic, like we mentioned, now this has been an interesting one because everyone was like, DICE, you make the best pre-alpha build ever of a game, and then you make it just like no one liked the new class system from, 2042, and I believe 5 had the same one where virtually all the weapons were usable on every class. Now, if you're a veteran of the Burger Wars in Battlefield 3 like we are, you remember Assault had its own weapons, Engineer, Recon, Support, blah, blah, blah. You did have some floater weapons. 3 was the shotguns and the PDWs. In 4, it was the carbines, right? So it's not like there isn't versatility even with weapons being locked to their classes. Now, Eric, I'm just going to ask you straight up. Should DICE listen and make it so the weapons are locked to their classes? Yes or no?
I think offline, I think we had a discussion a little bit earlier about making a game mode, and I think you hit it right on the button with the game mode. I mean, the fact is, more or less, we can agree that the first-person shooter genre has, you're going with, Fortnite and with all of the rest of them, and with all of that going on, there is no lot of classes. It's just whatever those weapons are.
Right.
That's what you're going to use.
Exactly.
So they do have to, whether we like it or not, the base does have to realize they are a company. They are a company, and they do have to compete on that level.
They're trying to use a wide net, right? Get as many players in.
Yes, but I think having a game mode where they lock it, it will be genius. I mean, you can keep your fan base, your hardcore fan base, and you can totally just try to capture that market to make that capital to continue making good games.
So, I kind of alluded to it earlier. The surprise move was DICE never listens, EA never listens, but they said for the multiplayer beta, they are going to have the class system and the weapon systems from the current iterations of Battlefield, but they're going to have specific playlists with the classic style locked weapons for the classes. And I thought, wow, DICE, by golly, they're listening. This is insane. They're doing it. They're actually doing it. So it is giving us some hope. Now, I'm not going to engage in hyperbole where I've seen some individuals online that are like, well, locked weapons is what made Battlefield Battlefield. I don't think that I love the game because there were certain weapons on certain classes. Was it something I enjoyed? Yes. Would that have been the biggest deal for me? If you would have played Battlefield 3 and it was all open, I don't think I would have had the same experience, but I still would have come away thinking that game was great. Now, because they added those kind of features as far as locking different weapons to different classes, I think it enhanced the game. Because essentially what you're running into, and Eric, I'm sure you'll agree, if you look at Call of Duty, you look at even like Fortnite or whatever the popular shooters are that people are playing, the individuals, especially Call of Duty, they find what the best guns are in the meta, people use that, and that's all they use. Now, if you looked at something like Battlefield 3, we know the AEK and the AN91 and, whatever weapons, insert weapon here were the best weapons. People did not just use them all the time. Yes, there was individuals. You're gonna find players in any games that love exploits and are gonna use the best weapons all the time. But what made Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 so much fun was using all the various weapons with some sort of success. That is why I think they have to implement this, or at least give us the option. If they cannot even give us the option to have class, look at Fortnite. They have no build. They have zero build. They did it. Do it, DICE. Listen to the fans. Make sure you at least give us the option. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. I mean, just giving us the option would be really, really good. Just to keep it, you can have your cake and eat it too. It is possible. It is possible to have the best of both worlds, and I think they've kind of hit on the head with that option. Hopefully.
Right, and it's the fact that they're, I don't know. You can tell though, and we'll make a video coming soon about this, but I'll just kind of a hint. This is a big deal for the company and the franchise. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's all over, boys, if this one doesn't work out. But Eric, I'm kind of getting that vibe from them as a company. Like, they're putting a lot on this game. The shoulders of Battlefield 6 feel like they have to be massive, because if they don't carry this right now, what are they? They're trying, right? They're doing the battle royale. They're actually listening to the fans. They're giving you multiple modes. The battle royale's free. You know they're gonna limit the transactions. I'm hoping in the regular classic multiplayer, but absolutely go crazy, I'm sure, for the free to play one. So dude, they had what we were joking, we were laughing, where they were like, we want 100 million total players, and I was like, oh my gosh, just insane. So either they know they have the world's best first-person shooter, or they're like, for our company's sake, we need this to have 100 million players. I don't know which one's which. Maybe it's a bit of both, but as far as this goes, they should definitely consider, at the very least, if they're not just locking weapons to the classes right away, make sure it's a game mode. I don't even care if they call it classic conquest or classic rush or whatever. Just give us the option, for hell's sake.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people don't understand, or what a lot of more new gamers, because with, Call of Duty's been around for obviously for quite a while, but with Fortnite and that younger generation coming into it, is that if they could also experience the classic mode of discovering, oh crud, having those class options. Okay, cool. You get this gun, but with this extra perk and shooting down weapon, with the rocket launchers or XYZ, it makes the game feel just a lot more different, a lot more fun. Well, I guess I'm biased, but anyway,
I think you're right. I think it makes it naturally have more variety.
More of a real Battlefield, more of a closer Battlefield experience than just a free-for-all. But anyway.
Yeah, and like you said, we'll wrap it up here, because we're not going to sit here and talk about this forever. I think the point has been made. You can tell what we feel on the Failed Authors channel, and our opinions are pretty strong in that regard, but I do, biases aside, I think it's what's best for the franchise. And I know I was saying where people were talking you have to do it, that's what makes Battlefield, but it is something that does set it apart. It does give it that little uniqueness. It gives it that feather in its cap that a lot of shooters just don't have. A lot of shooters right now are so soulless and generic, and it's totally like these developers are just all about money and not so much more, about having fun anymore. And it's almost like that shows.
Yeah, and the one thing that, what's cool about the Battlefield franchise, more or less, is that I've discussed this a lot about before, but of having lanes and things like that. In more open worlds, you have less of that. But I think with Battlefield and with Battlefield 6, it does look like they made with their map design,
Yep.
and I love the idea of map design, good map design, good range, you're setting this up so you can have these, hopefully, Battlefield experiences in this 3D world
Right.
generation you got going on. So that's the one unique thing, and all maps do that. They all have close mid-quarter stuff like that. But anyways, one of the things I think that DICE kind of will more or less in Battlefield 6, they cut their teeth on. So hopefully they will we'll see some of those come into fruition.
Yeah, and we'll kind of wrap it up right here after the statement, but just backpacking off what he said, the leaked gameplay has given me a lot of hope as far as what he was saying, where, yes, it's fun to have this open world where you feel like you can do anything, but there's maps that have to feel like that close quarter, gritty, modern combat, and there's been a lot of paths and a lot of lanes, like Eric was saying, in some of these maps that, there was one that you sent me, Eric, that looked like almost like an open market or something like that, or part of the map was a market, and I was like, oh, see, that's perfect. There's choke points in a few different areas, people coming in, coming out, fighting for the spot, and I'm like, that's what we want to see, boys. Which would be enhanced, and we're going to bring it all back home right now, if they made the weapons lock to the class systems. But that's it for this video. What do you think? Should they lock the weapons to different classes, or should they just run it like they have been? I'm the Failed Author. Join with me is Uncle Eric. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. If you like what you heard, you like what you've seen, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. We're open for topics, especially for Battlefield 6, so let us know if you want to see anything. Peace.
All right, see you.